All right. Welcome to this week's edition of the Friday Five. I'm Ben Rosehart. Happy to be joined by Tyler Schweickert, a goalie from our Concordia men's lacrosse team. Tyler, how are we doing today?
Good, Ben. Thanks for having me today.
Absolutely. Thanks for being with us. A belated happy Thanksgiving, and I hope you're enjoying your Thanksgiving week. I want to get right into it with our five questions, and our first one's an easy one. Again, this being Thanksgiving week, what are you thankful for?
Yeah, definitely friends and family. Don't think I'd be, where I am today or even at Concordia, if it wasn't for friends and family. So that's obviously an easy one. And then other than that, getting to play, college lacrosse in California, or really any college sport in California. I got a lot of friends who play back east, and they have to wake up and shovel snow before they can get on the practice field every morning. We get to walk out, and it's 70 degrees and sunny most days. So that's definitely a few of the things thankful for.
Yeah, my dad retired from after we both grew up in the New York, Pennsylvania states, and he's retired now in San Diego. So he loves not having to shovel as well. Great point.
Yeah.
We are very fortunate out here on the West Coast. So I want to ask you a little more about just kind of how you got into lacrosse, and have you always been a goalie? Curious to hear more about your background with the sport.
Yeah, so I was probably about like fourth or fifth grade. I had a bunch of my friends who I played Pop Warner football with all played lacrosse. And so they got me to come out. I actually started out playing attack in midfield my first year, so like fourth grade. And then in fifth grade and sixth grade, I played deep ball. And then by seventh grade, they kind of talked me into playing goalie. And I've played goalie ever since then. Definitely I like playing goalie more than any of the other positions. I doubt there's a whole lot of people that could say that, but definitely my favorite position by far.
Just to add on to that question, how much of an advantage do you think that is for you as a goalie after playing some of those other spots? Because you have an idea of where everyone else is also coming from with that communication during the game. Like, there's a lot going on. It's chaotic.
Yeah, it's definitely an advantage. You kind of get, playing those positions before, you kind of have an idea of, what everyone else thinks. And now playing as a goalie, whether it's telling defense what to do, you kind of know how they respond to a goalie telling them what to do, or, how an offensive player thinks, when trying to shoot on a goalie and stuff like that.
For people that may not know the game as well as maybe you, there are some similarities to other sports like soccer, like the goalies a lot of times directing traffic. And also even with like there's elements of football, elements of hockey for sure as well.
Yeah.
And you're an Anaheim Ducks and LA Rams fan, so I have to ask you, who are some of your favorite pro players, and any of those in particular you think might also be good at lacrosse?
Yeah, so I think from the Rams, definitely, obviously, Aaron Donald, I think, could be good at any sport he plays. He'd be a very scary defender. Just how
That's a
big he
great
is.
pick.
Yeah. And then also Cooper Cup, just how quick he is off the line. I think he'd be a great midfielder. From the Ducks, I feel like, there's a lot of hockey players that grow up and play both hockey and lacrosse, especially from Canada. And so I think, obviously, there's probably a good amount of them that have played lacrosse before, but I think definitely Ricard Raquel, probably a great midfield, great attackman. And then I'd say John Gibson probably be a great goalie. There's a lot of similarities in playing hockey goalie and playing lacrosse goalie that I think he'd be able to use.
Great answers. Wow. Gibson, Cooper Cup. I'm a huge fan of his. Aaron Donald. I
Yeah,
agree, because there's a lot of physicality that people may not recognize or realize until they see a game up close and personal. Um, Switching gears now for our fourth question. It says in your bio, one of your favorite foods is pizza. I agree. And I have to kind of get your thoughts. If you have favorite toppings, a go-to place or a couple places, kind of share with us your thoughts. What are your preferences?
yeah. So I'm pretty basic when it comes to pizza, just pepperoni, nothing crazy on there. Definitely, I'll eat, Domino's and stuff like that when I'm paying for it, just because it's cheaper. But definitely, I'm more of like a hole in the wall kind of guy. There's a place in like North Tustin, I think, called Wise Guys Pizza. I grew up going there. Still probably some of the best pizza I've ever had. So that's definitely like my go-to place if I can get it.
Way to break it down for us. I'll have to
Yeah.
check that place out. That sounds good. Okay, and a kind of a tradition here on the Friday Five, we always like to ask our student athletes just to share one of their favorite memories since they first stepped uh, onto Concordia's campus, whether it's related to your sport or outside of the sport. That's okay. Just want to kind of give you an opportunity. What are your favorite memories, Tyler?
Yeah, I'd say there's probably a tie between two. Freshman year, we played Grand Canyon University in the semifinals of our conference tournament. And they, the year before, won the national tournament. And we beat them like 10-8. So that was definitely a big win under the lights. My freshman year was a great experience. And then I'd have to say my sophomore year, we played Michigan State. They were ranked #1 team in the country at the time. And we beat them, I think, by like 1 or 2 right at the end of the game. And I remember that game was packed. I've never seen Concordia lacrosse game that full before. So that was definitely a really fun experience just with the fans there. And I think it was actually raining that day. So it was just a crazy game all around.
And great answers. I remember that game. It was high intensity level. I mean, those two good teams, Concordia and you and your teammates really rose to the occasion. That was a great landmark victory for sure.
Yeah.
Thanks again for sharing that with us, and
Yeah,
thank you
definitely.
again for being with us. This was a lot of fun to visit with you, and thanks for taking some time out of your Thanksgiving week here on the Friday Five.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for having me.
Have a great weekend.
Hey, you too.